on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an awesome day today. Bitcoin, what's going on? Bitcoin is still hanging around that $11,300, $400, $500 level. Super boring. Look at all this green in the altcoin charts.
Look at all those chickens.
And Bitcoin down 0.33%. We had an amazing start to the month. You could see every single time recently, though, we try to get above the $11,600 level, and we get rejected and rejected and rejected again. So lots of people out there are probably saying, well, K-Dub, it's probably time to get bearish on Bitcoin. Well, I want to talk about two things specifically. Number one, we have a very critical weekly close coming up. Now, even though last week we did close Bitcoin technically on a red candle, if you look right here, we did not actually close below the significant resistance of $11,540, which currently we are actually hovering on right now. And you can see how critical this is because that's where we had our two highest weeks back here in 2018, right? So that's one thing that I want to talk about. However, there was something extremely bullish that did just happen for Bitcoin, and I'm going to go into that. However, keep in mind, it is the weekend. We do have CME futures closed until the start of the week, so anything can happen until Monday. One thing I want to mention is that we have whales sending $100 million worth of Bitcoin both to and from exchanges. So what are they doing? Are they looking to cash out? Are they looking to hodl? I'm going to talk about my opinion on what I think is going on with these gigantic whale transfers. I also want to talk about somebody right now who is literally gobbling up the Bitcoin supply. Every time the miners are minting new coins, they're making about 900 Bitcoins a day, and this one single entity is literally consuming about 800 of those 900 Bitcoins every single day. So I want to talk about the fact that we are seeing massive demand, and we still could be seeing a huge price increase, maybe even new all-time highs by the end of this year. So if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. If you are not subscribed, definitely consider it. We give away a Ledger Nano S at the end of every single video. Oh, and definitely stick around until the end because I do have a little bit of a warning, okay, for people right now getting in the crypto space, getting in the DeFi space. So be careful with that. And of course, we have an insane Bitcoin price prediction. So let's dive in. Let's have a look at the chart. So, also, by the way, the ledgers are every Monday, not every single day if you're new. We give them away every Monday, but every video you can comment. Okay, so talking about what is going on right here. Now, I talked about the significance of this level back here, and you are noticing that if we don't get a weekly close above that sort of $11,500 level, it's 11,525 to 50, depending on what exchange you're looking at. That could actually be somewhat bearish for Bitcoin, okay? We might end up actually coming down here potentially and retesting this trend. And if we do, we could see Bitcoin price get all the way down as low as even 9,600 to 9,700. Now, do I think that that is going to happen? It's possible. However, I think the fact that we have been consolidating at these levels for so long maybe tells me that we shouldn't be expecting a massive dump. Now, we did have a lot of shorts, and also I need to talk about something that I do consider to be short-term bullish, and that was the fact that basically we had 1 billion in Bitcoin derivatives expire, and we didn't have a dump. Now, we could have a giant surprise this Monday. Maybe they're waiting for it. But, I mean, realistically, if they expired, that would have already happened. We didn't see it. We had 272 million of Bitcoin futures on the CME exchange. We had 65,000 Bitcoin options at Deribit CME OKX. And together, you had 272 plus 240 equals about 1 billion. And Bitcoin still maintain these levels. Now, the thing that we are having this difficulty with, though, is breaking above this previous support turn resistance. And you could see the significance of this trend right here, where it was support, support, then it became resistance, support, support, and now it's acting as resistance again. So you really want to break above this level. Now, if we are to close above the weekly resistance and we can break out, I think we're going to go back to $12,000. I think we're going to retest the $12,000 level, maybe even Monday, Tuesday of next week, right? But you could see over here that we can't get back into this ascending channel that we were into. Now, I did talk about great buys or great longs in this blue zone territory. You've had two phenomenal options to long Bitcoin if you are trading Bitcoin over on a, futures exchange, leverage exchange, whatever. And, you could see right here, you had one opportunity on August 25th and you had another opportunity on August 27th. And if you had put in a long on either of those days, you would be tremendously up. So far, those are acting as great buy zones, great support zones. But if we're unable to get down, get above this resistance, then, you can only punch it so many times before it fails, and then we're going to have a drop to the downside. So if you guys are looking to trade that, though, my recommended exchange is definitely Bybit for Bitcoin. You can check out some of the other tutorials I've done on the channel. Femex for altcoins, Prime XBT is good if you're doing like stocks, indices, stuff like that. I got a bunch of links below in the description. Check them out, guys, if you're interested. But, having a look even over at the CME futures right here, the question is, are we putting in a double bottom here under the resistance looking for a blast off, or is this just the beginning of a massive double bottom? We could just have one right here actually just acting as a big U, right? And then we could have another one kind of do this right here, basically putting in like a double bottom, right? You could do that. I've seen that before on the charts as well. But I mean, as long as we keep bouncing off this level, yeah, it's been holding really great support. So it is difficult to get bearish. However, we do have massive whale transfers right now, okay? We have $100 million in whale transfers. So the first one was made, and this was spotted by Whale Alert, by the way. This was coming off of OKX. So this should be a bullish sign, right? If they're taking their Bitcoin off of the exchange, then that probably means they're, setting it in a wallet to hold it, right? They're not looking to sell it if they're taking it off the exchange. But at the same time, we also had a second one that was almost double the size that actually transferred from an anonymous wallet to the exchange. So some people were joking saying, yeah, well, they're just going to buy some Polkadot, right? By the way, if you guys are actually interested in the Polkadot chart right now, it has actually broken out of its triangle formation. I was saying there was a potential chance you could have had a pullback. It could get rejected. People are asking me, when should I buy Polkadot? Well, guys, I've been talking about Polkadot and Kusama literally for like months, but if you still haven't bought any Polkadot yet, not financial advice, this could be a fake out. We could potentially come down to the $5.75 level. But I mean, if this breakout continues to break out like it's trying to, then we're going to basically go to $7. So keep your eyes on it, guys. We're trying to break out right now. Could be a fake out. We could go down. But yeah, people were asking about Polkadot. But yeah, anyway, getting back on the topic of Bitcoin, though, I need to talk about something specifically, okay? I want to talk about the fact that we have Grayscale Bitcoin Trust literally gobbling up all of the new Bitcoin at a massive rate. Now, this may not seem important to you. You may say, well, who cares? They're just buying it up. Yes, but what you don't understand is that Bitcoin is limited. There's only 21 million in the world. It's not like, where you can just print dollars forever. So this is a chart that somebody actually made on Reddit, and this shows the number of Bitcoin in the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And you could look on December 31st of 2017, which was basically the Bitcoin, extravagant all-time high. Everybody was going crazy. There was only 170,000. Now today we have about 422,308. So that means in the past 100 days alone, we've had 78,350 for Bitcoin. Now, what do all these numbers mean? Well, if you look at the recent acquisition, it shows that they are accumulating Bitcoin at the rate of 800 Bitcoin per day. Now, let me just show you something. Since we had the block rewards get halved, now we only have 6.25 Bitcoin coming out. Every day, we have 144 blocks on average, right? So 144 blocks per day. Because remember, blocks are not based on time. It's about 10 minutes, but it's not actually exactly 10 minutes. So 144 blocks times 6.25 is 900 Bitcoin every single day. So going back over here, at the rate of about 800 Bitcoins per day, Grayscale has bought every day for the last 100 days. This means that Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is buying Bitcoin equivalent to about 85% of all of the newly minted Bitcoin, which means there's only about 15% of any of the Bitcoin coming out at any moment that's actually available for anyone on the open free market right now. Think about that. So if somebody wants to go and buy Bitcoin, there's only 15% of the new daily, amount coming out. Think of all the other exchanges. Think of all the OTCs. We have one entity. We got Fidelity coming in. Fidelity is offering Bitcoin options to their institutional investors at a $100,000 minimum purchase. Minimum purchase, my friends, of $100,000. And you already have Grayscale, who really, when you compare to Fidelity, is kind of small, really, considering how big of a giant Fidelity is. If these guys start coming in and these guys start demanding more Bitcoin, what do you think is going to happen? Come on, I know you took economics in high school and college. It's simple supply and demand. I don't have to, the writing is on the wall here, guys. I mean, I know Bitcoin can be boring, it consolidates, but you guys know once it starts moving, Bitcoin is literally known for just going sideways, boring the hell out of you, and then literally just pedal to the metal, blast off to the moon. Damn it, I wish I bought more. Right? It's only a matter of time, guys. It's only a matter of time. So having a look over here, let's talk about another thing that is why a lot of investors are looking into Bitcoin. Obviously, we had Powell coming out yesterday saying that the U.S. is looking to basically harbor low interest rates for the considerable future, basically indefinitely, right? They're going to try to grow the economy by targeting a 2% inflation rate, which you can see right here in the charts. Basically, they said that the goal is to essentially devalue the dollar. So we have Bitcoin, gold, and stocks that are all going to benefit from this. We've seen all of these guys move in tandem, and they are going to continue to go up and up and up. And I know you're saying, how can this be happening? Worst economy ever. Stocks keep going up. Well, if you keep printing money and you keep buying things that have limited supply, you will push the price up. This is just how it works. And also, this is why market caps are sort of an illusion and you can't really go by them all the time. But basically, having a look at the dollar index in July alone, it dropped 4.03%, which is the dollar's worst month since April of 2011. Literally, in 9 years, we haven't seen the dollar perform as weak as it has. Now, let's talk about some crazy predictions from the Winklevoss twins. So they basically said that Bitcoin is undervalued by a multiple of 45, which means that they are looking at a $500,000, or yes, you heard me right, a $500,000 Bitcoin. So how did they come to this conclusion? Well, sort of piggybacking on what we were just speaking about, governments can only reduce their debt in 3 ways, right? So they can choose to not pay someone a portion of the debt, right? They can adopt measures in hopes of running a budget surplus, or they can reduce the value of the debt they own through inflation, which is really what they're doing right now, right? So the one that is likely to be adopted is that governments are looking for what is known as a soft default, which is literally money printing, right? So in this scheme, a government intentionally devalues its currency in order to erode the real value of the debt that it owes. Lenders still get paid the same amount of dollars. However, because of inflation, the dollars are worth less in real terms, right? So I can give you $100, but $100 today cannot buy you what $100 10 years ago or $100 when your grandma and grandpa, right? My grandparents bought their house for so cheap it was ridiculous. At least my house is 5 times the cost of what they paid for their house. And yeah, but anyway, you guys know how that goes, inflation. So, Tyler Winklevoss, he's talking about gold being the classic inflation head. And he basically says, yeah, okay, so gold is a reliable store of value, but there's 2 problems with the use case for gold. Number one, nobody really knows the supply, right? We're just guessing the supply of gold. And also, there's tons of gold that's been unmined. There's also potentially gold on asteroids if you think, Elon Musk is going to find a way to mine gold on asteroids. And we also know for a fact that there's a lot of gold underneath the ocean floor. So, okay, right now, we don't have a way to mine it, but, technology, right? We're going to probably figure out a way in the future. So, he talks about that it's unknown and that it's also hard to move gold. Literally, people go, oh, sometimes it's too slow to send Bitcoin. It takes 10 minutes. Try sending a bar of gold across the world in 10 minutes. You can't. It's literally impossible. Literally, it's impossible. So he goes on to point out that Bitcoin is not just better than gold, it's order of magnitudes better, or at least 10x better. He says that gold's current market cap is around 9 trillion. Therefore, if we use a gold framework to value Bitcoin, we could say that the bull case for Bitcoin is that it is undervalued by a multiple of 45. He also points out that the $500,000 figure could even be considered conservative if the world's central banks start to convert part of their USD reserves to Bitcoin. So he says all of this doesn't even factor in the possibility of Bitcoin displacing some portion of the $11.7 trillion of fiat foreign exchange reserves held by the government. So, hypothetically, if central banks start to diversify their foreign fiat holdings even partially into Bitcoin, he says, let's say 10%, then the 45x gets revised up towards about a 55x or about a $600,000 Bitcoin and so forth. Now, I understand that some people say that Bitcoin is too expensive, whatever. Okay, I get it. It is expensive, right? Most people can't afford one Bitcoin. But talk about life-changing money. If you could somehow just, do what you got to do, maybe don't go on vacation, stay home, save, which really shouldn't be too hard right now in the pandemic since we can't do anything, right? If you could just get your hand on one or maybe even two Bitcoin, right? Trade some altcoins, not telling you to do that, but find a way to somehow accumulate two Bitcoin, looking at the fact that you could have two Bitcoin potentially worth 1.2 million, that's not life-changing money. Now, that's not even also considering the fact that the dollar itself is probably going to just continue to get devalued over time. So we're just looking at this based on today's numbers, right? So people say that's crazy. Bitcoin can't go to 500,000. It can't go to 1 million. We just lost 4% of the dollar's value in July. If we keep losing it at a rate of 4%, we're going to be down another 99%, right? In the course of like 30 years. What does that mean? Think about that. Just think about that, okay? So you could see a $2 million Bitcoin because maybe 50 years from now, you'll be lucky if you could buy a slice of pizza. I'm sure you could buy a slice of pizza with $2 million, but I hope a slice of pizza isn't too... You guys know what I'm trying to say, right? A slice of pizza could be like $75 or something in the future. You get what I'm trying to say here? Due to inflation. So that could also pump the Bitcoin's price just because of the fact that the dollar is devaluing. So that is my rant for today. It's always nice to remind yourself like why we're in this, right? Because sometimes Bitcoin just doesn't do anything for a week or two. People get really bored, or sometimes it'll dump and then everybody just assumes that that's it. Bitcoin's going to zero. Guys, I've been here for over 4 years now almost. It's not going to zero, I'll tell you that. It's definitely not going to zero. Now, something that could go to zero is DeFi. Oh my goodness, K-Dub, don't say that. No, I don't know, guys. DeFi's not going to zero. But I have heard a lot of speculation about DeFi being a bubble. Is it a bubble? I don't know, guys. Hindsight's 2020. We're still climbing. Looks like it's maybe not a bubble, or it could be a bubble. Nobody knows. But 8.64 billion has been locked in DeFi. That is something we can actually confirm today. And, I just want to give a bit of a warning. Now, there are a lot of channels out there that talk about all these different DeFi projects, all these different yield farming techniques and stuff like that. And look, you can make a lot of money, but keep in mind, guys, it's usually about the insiders who get in first. Okay, the guys that start mining it before you, they make the biggest amount of bucks, and then they kind of come out, they drop it on you, you get involved, and you know what happens. Well, could it be profitable? Sure, it could be. But I just want to point out the dangers. So Sushi Swap, Master Chef, right? So Sushi is this crypto that everybody's been going crazy over lately, right? It's something you can yield farm, etc., or whatever you could do on it. I'm sorry. Let me tell you what it is specifically, because honestly, I didn't really look into it. So I'm going to be transparent on that. It says, in an announcement on August 26th, a team of developers revealed the Sushi Swap project, which was an initiative that attempted to be an evolution of Uniswap with these sushi tokenomics. Okay. The team has taken out one of the core concepts behind Uniswap, incentivized liquidity provision, and added further stimuli for those who decide to stake their tokens into the protocol. Staking sounds great. Free rewards, right? Sure. We'll get to that in a second. With Uniswap, liquidity providers receive a share of the trading fees of the corresponding pool for as long as they provide liquidity in it. With Sushi Swap, users can also provide liquidity and receive free rewards. Sounds pretty good so far. But they can also simply hold the native token called Sushi and continue receiving part of the fees. The mechanism is similar to that of Uniswap. Now, I'm not going to go into everything about Sushi token because I really am not that interested, no offense. But they say it's essential to understand that the project has not had its code audited. Now, do you guys remember what happened with Yam? Yam didn't have its code audited. It had a bug in it. It fell 99%. Well, guess what, guys? Sushi's price, and I'm not saying it had anything to do with the code, but it fell from about $170 when the token was first released to about $1.15. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry, guys. It's at 71 cents. It's down another 76%. It was down 99% yesterday. So basically, if you are involved in sushi, if you bought sushi, if you are staking sushi, you pretty much lost all your money. for the most part. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make with this is not to diss on anyone. Like, guys, I don't know. Maybe sushi is the best thing since sliced bread. Oh, maybe actual sushi is. Maybe you like sushi. I don't know. I'm talking about the crypto. So what I'm trying to say here is there are lots of opportunities. Is sushi a scam? Maybe it's not a scam. Not necessarily a scam. People just sold the tokens, right? The token price went down in value. So here's the thing. Even if you're getting 100%, 200%, by staking a token, but the token's value is losing 99%, what is 100% if you've lost 99% of the value? So point I'm trying to make is please be safe out there, guys. There is a lot of crypto projects out there. There are going to be even more projects. Some of them are going to be scams. Some of them are not going to be scams, but maybe they're going to have problems with the code. Other ones, you're just going to have situations where there's whales that dump and they end up selling, right? So what I'm trying to say is just be very, very careful. And, try to find projects that, you could hold, you believe in. You're not just trying to quick flip them. Usually those aren't good projects, especially all these different types of tokens that are just basically named after foods, right? Like potatoes and French fries and yams, and I guess technically those are all potatoes. Also, wanted to give a shout out to Unstoppable Domains. So they just sold the most expensive domain for 230 ETH for $90,000. Can you guys guess what it was? You guessed it, sex.crypto. Yeah, so there you guys go. Sex sells. Sex sells, literally. There we go. $90,000 it sold. So that's basically it for my video today. Hope you guys got some value out of it. Having a look at Bitcoin, we are still looking to break above this sort of resistance right here at around the $11,600. I am looking for that weekly close. We're sitting right on that cusp. I really would like Bitcoin to close above this level. If we can close above that sort of $11,500 and $20 to $40 level, depending on what chart, that would be massively bullish for Bitcoin. But like I said, guys, we did have the options expire and we didn't see a massive dump. So that's definitely something to consider moving forward. And that is it for me today. So thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. My name is K-Dub. This is CryptoZombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.